Howdy guys, and welcome to a speed build. Today we are building a little A-frame home, and I am just so excited with how it came out because for literal actual years I have been trying to make an A-frame home, and I think I got this one on the head. I think I got all the proportions right, and it looks, like a fairly believable A-frame home, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. I think I could have done a little bit of a better job with the interior, like the furnishing and stuff, but I think I was just so excited with the exterior and how it looked. I kind of slacked a little bit on the interior. I think I was kind of a little bit upset because I couldn't make it how I wanted it to look exactly. I wanted to give it a lot of personality and a lot of color, and I think it was the kitchen that kind of just made me a little bit sad because I couldn't make it a really colorful kitchen. I don't have really colorful cabinetry and stuff available to me right now, so we just kind of made do with what we had, but you guys will see and you guys can judge. Maybe you guys will like it, but I do feel very inspired to do another A-frame home in the future. I really want to do one for an herbalist sim, a sim who is very into gardening, or maybe they're a plant sim or something. And if I had Realm of Magic, I totally would, make it like a little, witches or wizards type, home. I just really like A-frame homes. They have so much unique character. They're so funny looking, and they're just so unique. They've got to be up there with some of my favorite, homes, even though I've heard people say that they're not all that cracked up to live in and whatnot. I've never lived in one. I did get to go inside of one once when I was very young. My neighbor was selling his A-frame home to go and live in California, I think, or something, and we were so lucky to have been able to go inside and get to see it, and I just loved it. And that was the beginning of my love for lofted spaces. So I love lofts, I love mezzanines, I love that sort of detail in homes. So if I can fit it into a home, you definitely know I am going to. So of course there's a lofted area in this home, and it's not a bedroom, unfortunately. I think it was a little bit too small to be a functional bedroom in The Sims. Maybe not. I think it could be turned into a guest loft, but I turned it into like a little lofted art studio for maybe a creative sim or something. I do imagine, that a creative sim would live here in this home and enjoy it. I mean, there's so much inspiration around. Right now, I think we're on Dotson's Creek where I started building it, and it's just got such a beautiful view, but I do move it to Willow Creek because I was so tired of the trees in Dotson's Creek, getting in the way, and the lighting there was kind of weird, and I just couldn't figure out what colors I wanted because I wanted to paint it, really fun colors, and yeah, it just wasn't working out on Dotson's Creek, but that is where it's meant to go. At least in my world, that's where I'm gonna be putting it. We'll put it back on that lot soon, but right now we're just trying to figure out the door and window situation. It was really hard to figure out windows and doors for this because, well, I mean, all the light pours in from the side, and I had none of that natural light coming in from the side, and I was just so sad because I am a very huge fan of natural light. I love natural light. I wanted to let so much of it in, and I was just so sad because the window features on the A-frame home, just in general, are such a huge, statement point of the house. They just let in a whole heap of natural light, but I think I tried to place this on several lots, and it didn't seem like I could get, the light to come in how I wanted it to. So I did end up putting in some like little weird porthole type light that looks out through the roof of the side of the house there, as you can see. And now we're just doing more doors on the inside. I think we're gonna move on to painting here in a second, but yeah, it was just really hard to do the inside because there was so much like not natural light, and I missed it. I just wanted it so bad. That's the bad thing about having an A-frame home in The Sims and making an A-frame home in The Sims, is that, yeah, the lighting is just way too weird in the game, and I wish I could have changed, where the light was coming in. But we're doing the bedroom, and you can see I put a skylight in the bedroom. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea, but hey, this is The Sims, okay? I want to imagine that the skylight will dim, at night. It'll tint itself at night, or you could like tint it yourself before you fall asleep. But I did like the idea about laying in bed and staring up at the moon and the stars in the sky and drifting off to sleep. So I love the idea of the skylight in there, and maybe I could have put it somewhere else, but maybe it would have looked cool if I put it, above the loft area. If I put a skylight above the loft area to let in more of that light. Oh, that's an idea. Maybe when we revisit A-frame A-frames in the future, I'll do something like that. I gotta keep that in mind. I gotta write that down somewhere because that's a really good idea, especially for, you know, a botanist type sim or an herbalist type sim, you know, like how we were talking earlier. I think that'd be a lot of fun, and I think it'd be a nice way to let in more of that natural light into the sides of the house, you know, since it's just essentially non-existent, you know. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit bitter about how the lighting works, and maybe it is kind of discouraging me from ever making another A-frame home again in The Sims, but we're gonna give it another go, you know. You can't just give up. But yeah, that is just one thing. You cannot give up. You know, if I gave up, you know, years ago and just never decided to build another A-frame home again, I would not have come up with this one. And I am just so happy with how this one came out. It turned out really great on the outside, and I really think the bedroom turned out nice. You know, it's kind of cozy, and I really wanted to go for like this cozy but overly characteristic type interior. I don't think I nailed that quite on the head with the rest of the home, mostly because I think I was a little bit discouraged with how I did the kitchen. I didn't like the boring, you know, brown on brown, and maybe I should have gone for like the lighter brown swatch on this cabinetry, but I didn't. I don't know why I ended up just going with the darker brown color. I probably would go back and change it, but ideally I wanted a more colorful kitchen, you know, in this style of kitchen. I wanted, you know, maybe like a yellow or a green or a blue, you know, a fun color, you know, fun little quirky little kitchen with a lot of like little knickknacks lying around. But that too, you know, the space was so small, I didn't want to overly clutter it. This is already a really small kitchen, and it's nice, and I promise this whole house completely works. It is fully functional. I play tested it extensively. It fully functions. It's a nice little house, and it's just ready to go. I think it's kind of expensive. I actually don't remember how much it ended up being, and I'm sorry about that. I think it ended up being really expensive for what it was, and I'm sorry about that. But you know, you could get it, you can place it, and you can gut it if you want and furnish it however you'd like. You know, it's totally free for you to do with what you wish, and I would love to see what you guys, you know, end up turning it into. You know, you can drop comments on my Twitter, which I will link down below, you know, in the description of this video if you guys want to share with me what you came up with. Right now we're just finishing off the kitchen, and we're working on a little pet area, I believe. Well, this is like, I don't know what this area was supposed to be. I guess it is just like a little bit of a pet area, you know, with your dog treats, and maybe you would drop your leashes here because I don't think I have anything available near the front of the house for, you know, leashes to go for pets. And I wanted to imagine, you know, whoever lives here probably has dogs. You know, I want a dog of my own, so I kind of, in every home that I build, I end up putting like dog food bowls and stuff. I just want a dog, and I want every sim that plays in this house to, you know, have a pet. So that's like one thing I just keep adding into all of my houses is like pet bowls and stuff. You know, give your sims pets. They're very good. They're good little creatures, and I love them so much. And if you ever want to download, you know, any of my houses, it's always gonna be a guaranteed. Most likely I will be building with cats and dogs. So yeah, that's probably the only must-have if you want to download any of my homes, because I just can't resist using cats and dogs. But here we are, just including a couple little photographs here by the back sliding door, and I didn't really realize until I took the screenshots how low the picture of the lady was on the wall. So she's kind of like peeking up behind the picture, and you can see she looks so funny in the screenshot. She's just like kind of peeking over. It looks so funny to me. And over here we're working on like a little desk nook area. Originally I wanted to do like an inset kind of desk area inside of like that little window bay there, but I couldn't figure out how people do that. You know, I think all they do is they put like a door frame, and then they put, you know, the stuff inside, and I didn't really figure that out until afterwards. You know, I don't even know if that's how people actually do it, but I think I might try that next time, you know, the next time I give myself the opportunity to use a window kind of like this, because I do like that idea. It sounds like a really fun idea, just to sit in like this little sunroom type area, but like it's all windowed, and it just looks so pretty, and I want to be able to do that too. But I do mostly like farm home type builds. I love farm homes, and I love cabins, which is actually really funny because in The Sims 3 and early on in The Sims 4, I was very into building very contemporary homes, you know, very minimalistic type builds. But here I am, you know, just throwing a whole bunch of clutter and making the coziest little farm homes of my dreams. I just can't resist. They're just so cozy and warm, and I love tiny spaces so much more than, you know, massive spaces. I'm not someone who needs a whole lot of space, and I feel like that's kind of reflected into the types of homes I build, because I build the kinds of homes that I could probably see myself living in. I just love them, you know, it's just so much easier for me. But I am kind of getting the itch now to build something a bit more contemporary, maybe not something totally modern leaning, but definitely something a bit softer, you know, something not as harsh as, you know, the sharp angles and sharp details and the minimal modern builds. Anyways, now we're just working on the living room, and we're trying to fit in a fireplace, and I hadn't really planned to put a fireplace in originally, but I just kind of ended up squeezing it in there. I think it ends up looking nice, except for the fact that there is no chimney. I forgot to put in a chimney. No, I think I did put in like a little metal stack looking thing. I don't even know if it's like really constitutes as a chimney. Look, my excuse for that is that I live in a place that is hot all the time. It's hot all year round, and we don't really have chimneys where I am. We don't have fireplaces where I am, so, you know, because we don't need them. So I've just never really seen a chimney in person. I don't really pay much mind to chimneys in homes. That's a lame excuse, isn't it? I'm sorry. I know, I'm just trying to defend myself against not putting a chimney in. I'm sorry. I just couldn't make it fit, I don't think, how I wanted it to. I do think I did try to make, you know, like a chimney myself, but no, it wasn't working. So I think I just completely scrapped it, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for no chimney, but you guys can very easily add one in if you would like. I know they look really adorable because when you have the fireplace running, they actually blow smoke out at the top, and it's such an adorable little detail. But here we are, we're working on like a little itty bitty reading nook, and originally I was going to have that lofted space be like this really cozy reading nook, but I ended up turning that into like a little lofted artist space. So here we're just doing a little reading nook, and it comes out really cozy. This whole house is so entirely cozy. I would certainly live in this, you know. It comes out so nice, and I do want to live in it, you know. Maybe I'll end up playing a family in it or something, you know. I don't know. It's really cute. I hope you guys, you know, have a lot of fun with it, because I had a lot of fun building it, and I worked really hard to make sure that the roofing wasn't cutting into the house, so it wouldn't be, you know, super annoying to play with, you know, with the walls down and stuff, and the roof, you know, clipping in. And I really do try really hard to make it so the roofs don't clip into the actual building, because I know how extremely annoying that can be. But here is a little artist loft. I put a lot of, you know, a lot of little like artist details in here and stuff. I want to imagine that the person who lives here is really good with handiwork, and they make sculptures and stuff and furniture, and they paint them, and, you know, maybe they sell them, or they get commission from the town to make, you know, little I don't know, like park benches and stuff, and paint them and make them look very beautiful. And I just think that's a fun little detail that I like to add. And they have like this cute little balcony type area, so you could just move the easel out onto the balcony, and they can paint the scenery. And because where I put it at the end of the video is in Dotson's Creek, and it's just absolutely gorgeous there. So imagine your sim just standing out on that balcony, just painting with the cool, you know, coastal breeze blowing in, and painting the scenery around, and painting any dogs or cats or little critters that happen to walk on by. I just think it's a nice little detail to put out on the loft there, that little balcony. It's so cute. I really like it. And this little deck area, I didn't really know what to do with it. I think I had an idea originally, and then I kind of forgot it in the midst of building the whole entire house. So it's just mostly a very big sitting area. Do I add a grill? I don't remember if I added a grill out here. I think I was going to, but yeah, I just don't remember if I did or not. So yeah, it doesn't look like I add a grill, but there is a little fire pit I do put out at the back, and there is a lot of room for a grill if you want to put it on the back deck there. I think I left it out because the way the overhang works and the balcony up above, I don't think it'd be very safe or pleasant. You know, I know it's The Sims, but like my brain just couldn't be bothered to get around that logic, you know, so I just left it out. But there is certainly a lot of space for you guys to be able to do it if you want to. But here's the front of the house now, and I was just like trying to figure out what I could do to give it, you know, that much more character. I went pretty wild with like the plants and the flowers and stuff, you know, all of this little foliage, and I just wanted to make it look so welcoming and soft, and, you know, preparing you for the amount of character that is probably contained within the walls of this place. And I really loved how this came out. I can't wait to make another A-frame house. You know, maybe in a year we'll come back and we'll see just how much I've improved, you know, with my decorating and interior design skills, you know, in The Sims 4. I think that would be fun. So yeah, in a year, you know, remind me, we'll come back and we'll do another A-frame home and we'll make it, you know, I don't know, maybe for a plant sim or like a botanist sim or something like that, you know, someone who does like flower arranging and stuff. And I think it'd be really, it is really a cute idea because, you know, A-frame homes I associate with like being out in the wilderness and stuff, you know, out in the woods and stuff. And I think largely people rent them out as cabins these days, but I do like them as, you know, a home because, you know, like I said, the one that I saw initially was a house, like someone actually lived in it year round, and it was just, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful home. I love A-frames, and I know I've said that like a gazillion times in this video, but I really do love them. And you know, do you guys love them as much as I love them? Because I love them a whole heckin' bunch. You know, I love them a whole lot. And yeah, now we're just moving on to the foliage and stuff. We're back in Dotson's Creek. We've done the outside. We're doing the terrain painting, and I think we're about to get into the screenshots in a minute here, so I'm gonna stop bothering you guys in a moment, you know, once we get there. But I tried to match the foliage up with, you know, the surrounding area because I wanted it to blend into Dotson's Creek, because this is I really do want this home to fit in here, and I think it's really cute. But yeah, oh, don't mind the garbage can being out at the back of, you know, your back door by your kitchen. And I know maybe it might stink, but don't worry, because I put a lot of lavender out at the back. You know, maybe it's all fresh in bloom and it smells really, really good, so it masks the scent of the garbage. But I don't know, I'm sorry, I just didn't know where else to put the big bin, so I kind of just tucked it over there. You can't really see it anyways, and it's not like your Sims can actually smell. I don't know if you guys can see it, but like if you look at this terrain painting the right way, it kind of looks like the house is casting like a shadow that's like of a monster, and it's getting ready to rage, and it's grabbing onto the planter boxes in the fire pit area. And you know, maybe this house has kind of been cursed by a spellcaster or something, which is just kind of like cool and fun lore, you know, if you have Remo Magic and you have spellcasters and stuff. But we're gonna get into the pictures now, and I'm just gonna leave you with these. Anyways, you guys, I just wanted to thank you so much for checking out my video today and seeing how this A-frame house came together, and hopefully it has inspired you to maybe go and make your own A-frame house. But if you'd rather play in the one that you saw me make, I'll be sure to leave my gallery ID in the description below. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.